Welcome to Oxford News This Week. I'm Elgin Nichols.
And I'm Terry Stiles. In this week's news, a big oil company owes big taxes to Addison Township, and a dancer earns a spot in the Royal Winnipeg Ballet program.
Stay tuned. Learn more about these stories and others. The Oxford News begins right now. Addison Township officials discovered the Canadian-based company Innergex Petroleum Incorporated, which owns the Lamphar Wells located near Leonard and DeQuinder Roads, currently owes more than $20,000 in unpaid personal property taxes dating back to 2008, which are now considered delinquent. According to a recent statement made by Oakland County Treasurer Andrew Meisner, nearly $8,000 of the total owed is interest and fees. According to the Township Supervisor, Bruce Pearson, a notice of outstanding balance was mailed to the company in January from Township Attorney Bob Davis. If Innergex does not pay the taxes in full within 21 days, Pearson said the Township is authorized to seize and auction off any assets located on the property to cover its unpaid balance.
From helping kids see better in the classrooms to furthering their education beyond high school, the Oxford Lions Club is working hard to ensure local students don't fall behind. On Saturday, February 17th, the club will offer free vision screening for young people ages 1 through 18 at the Oxford Public Library from 10 a.m. until noon. Using an automated photo screening device, Lions Club members will be screening for 6 different conditions that may affect kids' learning experiences.
At only 11 years old, Oxford dancer Elizabeth Gerke has been invited to pack her bags and spend a month at the prestigious Royal Winnipeg Ballet Professional Division summer session. Although Elizabeth has danced many styles, including jazz, tap, lyrical, contemporary, and hip-hop, ballet has become her favorite, and it's the one she hopes to continue improving in. Elizabeth auditioned for Royal Winnipeg Ballet staff on January 8th in Windsor and received the good news about 2 weeks later.
Ever since the Wright brothers took to the skies in 1903, airplanes have been the way of modern travel, wars, shipping, and exploring uncharted territory. But which planes have been the biggest impact? Well, let's let Oxford resident Philip Handelman set out to answer the question with his new book. Handelman, along with his co-writer and New York Times best-selling author Walter Boyne, will release the new book, The 25 Most Influential Aircrafts of All Times, through Lion Press in March. Don't miss reading this interesting book from our local author, Handelman.
When yard work goes from simple chore to impossible task due to age, illness, disability, or economic circumstances, that is when Oxford Gives Back steps in and saves the day. Local homeowners who need help cleaning up their properties this spring are in luck because the program that provides free labor is returning. Applications for the 3rd annual Oxford Gives Back Work Weekend, scheduled for April 28th and 29th, are now being accepted. The program is open to homeowners in Oxford, Addison, and Orion Townships.
That's it for Oxford News This Week. If you'd like to learn more about these stories and others, you can pick up a copy of the Oxford Leader newspaper, or better yet, you can catch us on our website, occtv.org, on YouTube, and of course right here on your Charter Channel 191 or AT&T Channel 99.
That's right. And coming up soon, John Ochins with the school news and our very own Cody Wright with the sports report. And you won't want to miss Auto Talk and Science in the News with Dave Kenny.
I'm Terry Stiles. Thanks for watching Oxford News This Week, where we bring your news closer to home.
And I'm Elgin Nichols. Remember, always be kind to your friends and neighbors, and thanks for watching.
Welcome to Science in the News. I'm Dave Kenny, and these stories are taken from the publication New Scientist. In our first story, last week, SpaceX's Falcon Heavy rocket lifted off from Cape Canaveral in Florida for the first time. At 70 meters tall, with 3 boosters containing 27 engines, the Falcon Heavy is the most powerful rocket on the market. This first flight was a test flight designed primarily to demonstrate that the rocket can carry a payload into space without exploding. While test payloads are usually something like a block of concrete, just meant to add weight to the spacecraft, Elon Musk chose to send up his red Tesla Roadster with a dummy named Starman at the wheel. After 2 side boosters disconnected from the rest of the rocket, they started to head back down to Earth, and moments later the 3rd booster did the same. The first 2 boosters landed almost simultaneously on their launch pads, but the 3rd booster didn't touch down so gently. When it was executing the engine burn necessary to bring it back to rest on a drone ship, it was only able to light 1 of 3 engines it needed to land, and then crashed at 300 miles an hour, destroying 2 engines on the drone ship. Even though the landing sequences didn't go exactly as planned, all was well with the upper stages. In the hours following the launch, Starman and his cars hurtled through the Van Allen belt, zones of intense radiation that surround Earth, and flew towards Mars. It was meant to enter an orbit around the Sun, which would take it to the distance of Mars's orbit, but actually ended up on an orbit that will take it past Mars and into the asteroid belt, passing between the paths of Mars and Jupiter, around 390 million kilometers from the Sun. Such a distant orbit proves that the Falcon Heavy can bring payloads to Mars and beyond, traveling deep into the solar system without a hitch. And on the medical front, a drug that can relax muscles could become a new treatment for asthma. Current asthma drugs called beta-2 agonists have a big problem. Many of the people who take them become temporarily or permanently less sensitive to them over time, a dangerous prospect for the 300 million people who have the condition worldwide. This complication leads to 2 million emergency room visits and 500,000 hospitalizations of asthma patients each year in the U.S., says Luis Ulloa, Rutgers, New Jersey Medical School. But Ulloa and his colleagues have been testing a new drug called TSG-12, which targets the smooth muscle cells that line our airways. In lab experiments, they found that it relaxes tensed up human muscle cells 100 times more effectively than some existing beta-2 agonists. When the team introduced asthma-like response in mice using a dust mite allergen, they found that their drug reduced airway obstruction by 80%. This may be around 30 times more effective than isoproterenol, a beta-2 agonist drug. Because the new drug specifically targets the muscle cells involved in asthma, it's possible that it may have fewer side effects than beta-2 agonists, which have effects elsewhere in the body and can stunt growth. Ulloa says the trials of the drug in people may begin this year, and that the team may also test it for other conditions that impair breathing, such as chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, and that's a good thing. In our last story, evidence is growing that bacteria can cause bowel cancer. 2 kinds of microbes that are found in colon tumors have been shown to cause cancers in mice. The 2 commonly found species, E. coli and Bacteroides fragilis, together cause DNA damage that could lead to cancer-causing mutations, although it has not yet been shown they do the same in people. Cynthia Sears at the Bloomberg Kimmel Institute for Cancer Immunotherapy in Baltimore, Maryland, and her team found that E. coli and B. fragilis were invading the colon wall in tissue samples taken from people with an inherited form of colon cancer. These species have also been previously found in more common non-inherited form of bowel cancer at a higher rate than in healthy normal colon samples. When the 2 species were put into mice just predisposed to get bowel cancer, they dramatically increased the number of tumors that formed. A 3rd species of bacteria has already been implicated in bowel cancer previously. There could be particular bacteria that start the process and other bacteria that pile on and make it worse, says Sears. And the search goes on. Well, that's it for this edition of Science in the News. I'm Dave Kenny. Stay tuned to Oxford Community Television.
I'm John Ochins, and welcome to the Oxford Wildcats School Update. Internet dangers was the subject of some assemblies held for students and parents in Oxford High School recently. This seems to be a subject of great concern everywhere. Principal Steve Wolf gives us an overview.
Well, I think even 5 years ago, the way our students communicated with their phones is different from the way they communicate today. And most certainly 10 years ago, even more so, in that students are using more anonymous apps, apps such as Snapchat, where the text, the photo, the video, the link will delete. But may not actually delete. And if someone is really looking to get a hold of that information, it can be attainable. And so the way students have communicated without even using words sometimes, and how quickly they can do it, often receiving a message and forwarding it or copying it takes only seconds, yet can really put our students in danger, both from a safety standpoint, a well-being standpoint, and then even the world of the legality.
And this is about more than just texting.
I think gone are the days of students just going from text message to text message. And they are using far more, whether it's not just emojis, but images, pictures to represent a feeling, a thought. And that can be a positive thing, but can also be a real negative thing. And students can record other students and send them off to other classmates and represent someone in a negative light. And that can then expand quickly within minutes from being in one classroom or in the cafeteria to school-wide in seconds. Students can often receive photos that are a bit sensitive for school. It could be students where they maybe aren't fully clothed, for example. And if a student is sharing those, well, then you're sharing information or you're sharing photos of another individual, which violates 10, 11, 12 parts of our code of conduct, but also raises questions about the nature, how that person's portrayed, and even worse than that, how that student may feel walking through the hallways if they were projected in a negative light.
Oxford High Principal Steve Wolf. More on schooling around. By now you know that high school robotics competition season is warming up. One thing our team Torque 2137 could use is more space. They need a heated space, about 3,500 square feet in size, to set up and test their equipment as they prepare for the competitions. Up until now, Romeo High School has been sharing their practice facility, but that's over a half hour away. The team would need the area from February through April. Any business that donates the area would be considered an arcade sponsor for Torque 2137. They would be recognized on their banners and t-shirts, and the business could get a lot of exposure as the team travels to their various competitions. If you're interested, you can call our team sponsorship mentor, Mary Hantzer, at 586-764-1429 for more information. English language testing is going on around our district. This is a government requirement to make sure we have proper assistance for kids whose first language was not English. Assistant Superintendent of Instruction Ken Weaver talks about kids in our district who might be involved.
We're not as diversified as other districts around us. Some districts have a lot larger population of English learner students than we do, but it's made up of all different nationalities and so forth and backgrounds. So it does tend to be predominantly, I would say, Spanish currently this year, but there is it's more diversified than what I would have thought.
Weaver stresses the importance of this.
No, it's just it's really an important test for us. It really helps with our English learner services because we also, through the federal and state requirements, we also provide these students with extra assistance throughout the school year, and it helps us guide our program. So we take these tests very serious and look at the results and try to make sure that we make the necessary improvements to improve the education of these students as best we can.
As you may know, Spanish is becoming the official second language of our elementary schools. This has an impact on our early childhood program as well, as they attempt to plant the right seeds with kids getting ready for kindergarten. I spoke with Washia Jackson and Pat Mueller about this.
It made us rethink how we're teaching it.
Yeah.
Right.
So, and you know that collaboration pieces that she's talking about, that's where that happens. We always have PD. We have a couple of teachers that are bilingual, and they need to support the rest of us. And so we're trying to figure that out because we had some Chinese things going on, but like you said, now we have to rethink how are we going to do this, and how are we going to introduce those words and vocabulary to children so that they learn them in both languages.
And that is meaningful and purposeful, and we're not just rotely memorizing words because those are the words on the list, and I can't go out in public and hold a meaningful conversation. So we're rethinking how we want the second language to really grow in early childhood. So it is an addition.
We want it to be conversational because we know that that's going to be the most effective.
And congrats again on your 5-star rating. That's the Oxford School Update for this week. This is Oxford Community Television, keeping it local.
What's going on, Wildcat fans? Cody Wright here once again to bring you your sports report. Well, we have a lot to go over this week, so let's not waste any time and let's see how our Oxford sports teams are doing in this winter season. Well, first off, the boys basketball team took on Groves High School here at home on the 2nd. We did seem to struggle, which is not common. However, our JV team played very well and docked up another win. The final score was 37-22. As for the varsity club, we ended the night falling to a final of 81-70, and the freshmen fell as well, 48-33. However, on the flip side, the girls basketball team played absolutely phenomenal against Troy Athens on the road. All three teams managed to get by with a win. The freshman club 42-21, the JV 37-32, and then of course varsity finishing off the night strong with a final score of 49-31. And the Oxford and Avondale hockey teams have been surprising us from time to time this season with their young team and short bench. On the 3rd, we went on the road and took on DeWitt St. John in what turned out to be an excellent game for the spectator and also turned out to be a great night to be on our side. The game ended in the 3rd, tied 1-1, and we went into OT. Oxford answered back first and we took the win. However, we didn't have the same luck on the 7th when we went once again on the road to take on Cabrini at Allen Park. They must have been a tough team and we didn't get much out of them. The final score ended 8-0. And the boys swim and dive team, they took on both Troy Athens and Notre Dame Prep in a doubleheader. And we handled it well. These boys have been swimming very well this season, and it shows on the record. We took Athens 130-55 and Notre Dame Prep 135-43. And last but certainly not least, the boys and girls bowling teams had 2 meets last week. We went to Classic Lanes and took on Avondale on the 1st, the girls winning far ahead 30-0, and the boys the same score and result. We then went to Collier Lanes on the 5th and took on Royal Oak. Once again, the girls standing strong and taking the win 30-0, and the boys winning as well. However, the score varied 28.5 to 1.5. And also, I want to take a moment to recognize 4 Oxford athletes who signed letters of intent to play and go on at a college level. Sarah Lilford will be cheering at Rochester College. Matt Milinek will be playing soccer at Niagara University. Lauren Yankee will be playing golf at Adrian College, and Shea Walters will be playing baseball at Medill University. These athletes are amongst the top 7% of athletes in the U.S., and we are proud of them. We managed to get some footage of their recognition ceremony, so let's check that out.
Congratulations to you for all your hard work, sweat, tears, and sacrifices you've endured to make this moment happen. Please remember as you move forward that you are now among an elite group of student athletes. You will be held to a higher standard. Please be sure to make positive choices by leading with integrity and always doing the right thing even if nobody's watching. Please compete with class and set an example for those who follow in your footsteps. Finally, be a fierce competitor. Do not let anyone outwork you on the field or in the classroom, and continue to make Oxford Community Schools proud. Thank you.
And that should do it for this week's report. For any more info on these events and others, go to oxfordathletics.org. Plenty of info and extra details all right there for you at oxfordathletics.org. While you're at it, might as well check us out at occtv.org. All of our coverage of the games can be found on our YouTube page, which you can access through the website. Once again, that is occtv.org. And that should wrap up this week's report. I want to thank you all for watching. Until next time, I'm Cody Wright. Go Wildcats.
Hi, I'm Elgin Nichols.
And I'm Dave Kenny.
Together, David and I host OCTV's weekly show, Minutes by Minutes.
The show presents our sometimes humorous interpretation of what your elected politicians are doing to enact regulations and ordinances that ultimately affect us all, keeping your news closer to home and reporting political shenanigans from Oxford and Addison Township, including the villages of Leonard and Oxford.
Catch Minutes by Minutes on Charter Channel 191 or AT&T Channel 99. Tune in Monday through Friday, 11:30 a.m. and 11:30 p.m. and Saturday, 11:30 a.m.
If you don't have Charter or AT&T, you can watch us on our local website, OCCTV.org, or OCTV Oxford, Michigan on YouTube. See you there. Welcome to this edition of Auto Talk. I'm Dave Kenny, and these stories are taken from the publication Automotive News. In our first story, Toyota rolled out updated TRD Pro trims for the midsize Tacoma pickup, the full-size Tundra, and the 4Runner SUV, adding a snorkel-like intake to the Tacoma and internal bypass shocks across the lineup. The new exclusive color option is Voodoo Blue, and it joins Super White and Midnight Black paint options that carry over. The 2019 TRD Pro Series will be available in the fall, Toyota said in a statement on February 8th. Most of the changes to the trail-ready trucks are cosmetic, including a new roof rack on the 4Runner and rigid fog lights and special wheels on the Tundra, but there are some special functional changes to the lineup. The 2.5-inch Fox shocks, once exclusive to the Tacoma, are now used across the lineup and add an inch of additional wheel travel. The available desert intake on the Tacoma prevents sucking up dust from the wheel well, Toyota said. The 4Runner receives Toyota's updated Entune infotainment system with JBL Premium Auto and integrated navigation. The first Toyota racing development package was offered in 2014. And at Ford, Ford Motor Company wants to position the third-generation Transit Connect wagon as a less expensive, more capable minivan alternative to further help expand its dominant share in the commercial vehicle market. The 7-seat wagon variant of the segment-leading Transit Connect, introduced February 8th ahead of the Chicago Auto Show, comes with a new front end, new powertrain, and a host of new driver assist features. It's scheduled to go on sale this fall and will be the first U.S. vehicle with Ford's new 1.5-liter EcoBlue diesel engine that's expected to get at least 30 miles per gallon. Ford introduced the Transit Connect to the U.S. in 2010 and last redesigned it in 2014. In 2017, Ford sold over 34,400 Transit Connects, nearly double the sales of the second-place Nissan NV200. To date, officials say about 97% of the roughly 300,000 small vans sold since its introduction are still on the road. The mid-cycle retooling for the 2019 model year focuses heavily on new driver assist technology. It'll come with automatic emergency braking standard as Ford rolls out that feature across its lineup. It's part of a pre-collision and pedestrian detection assist package the automaker says is segment exclusive. Available technologies include adaptive cruise control, blind spot information system with cross-traffic alert, and lane keeping assist. It will feature a standard embedded 4G LTE LTE modem that provides Wi-Fi for up to 10 devices, part of a company-wide initiative to connect every vehicle by 2019. The Sync 3 infotainment system is an available feature. The Transit Connect wagon will come standard with a 2-liter 4-cylinder gas engine mated to an 8-speed transmission. The 1.5-liter diesel, also paired with an 8-speed gearbox, is an available option. Officials say the vehicle will offer a class-leading towing capacity of 2,000 pounds when equipped with an available trailer tow package. The interior includes a redesigned instrument panel and center console with an available 6.5-inch touch screen. The second and third row seats can fold flat, and the floor is 2 feet above the ground for easy loading and unloading of items. The Transit Connect wagon comes in 2 wheelbases and 3 trim levels: XL, XLT, and Titanium. In our last story, tailgate thefts reported to insurance companies across the U.S. declined 5% in 2017. A report shows, though it's unclear how many such thefts go unreported to insurers. According to a report by the National Insurance Crime Bureau, which maps the number of tailgate thefts in the U.S. through insurance claims, the number of such thefts dropped to 1,788 in 2017 from 1,877 in 2016. Overall, the number of thefts reported to insurers have slipped 6% since 2014, though the actual number of thefts reported to the police may be considerably higher, since not all thefts lead to an insurance claim, the NICB notes. For 2016 and 2017 combined, Texas had the most tailgate theft claims of 1,360, followed by California of 1,039. Together, the states logged nearly 65% of total theft claims. Michigan, Missouri, Nevada, and South Carolina slipped into the top 10 list for tailgate thefts for 2016 and 2017. The tailgate thefts in Nevada surged 245% when compared with the 2014-2015 theft figures, and South Carolina thefts jumped 118%. The top cities for tailgate theft for the 2016 to 2017 are Houston, Texas, San Antonio, Los Angeles, and Fresno, California.